So remember, we're asking tonight whether you think we are overrepresented. And I'll be joined in studio shortly by George Kithi. He's an advocate who will be giving us the constitutional perspective with regards to the bloated representation and some of the proposed amendments that have been coming up, specifically from Benjamin Langat, who is joined in studio by Hussein Mohammed. Let's now cross over to Hussein as he begins to engage us on this discussion. Hussein.
Right, Janet. Of course, the question again, or the big question tonight is, are we represented? So many of you have started commenting. We'll go to your comments in a short while, but let's just look at how this is a problem or not, depending on where you stand. Representation positions in the country: we have a president and a deputy president. We have 47 governors. We have 47 deputy governors. We also have 47 elected senators, 20 nominated senators, 290 elected members of parliament, and then we have 47 elected women representatives, 12 nominated MPs in the National Assembly, 1,450 elected MCAs, 770 nominated members of county assembly. And then we have the cost of representation, 2.5 million per month per MP monthly to maintain them, 2.5 million per senator monthly, 500,000 per member of county assembly monthly. And then we have a 5-year wage bill. MPs will be 52.3 billion shillings, senators 10 billion shillings, members of county assembly 66.6 billion shillings, and the total will be about 128.9 billion shillings. So they already there's a move to try and help this or curb this, whether popular or unpopular. It's being fronted now by Aina Moy MP. Benjamin Langat, thank you for making time for us tonight. I'll come to the other guests in a short while. You said, yes, we are overrepresented. Why?
Yes, thank you very much. I think I said we are extremely overrepresented in Kenya. If you look at compared to the last representation in the last constitution, you realize we used to have a house of 222. For us to have shifted from 222, you multiply by two times, and there is nothing, without really justification. I believe we are extremely overrepresented. Okay. If you come to Senate, we have another house, Senate, we have National Assembly, and now county assemblies with many nominated people. So to me, we are extremely overrepresented, and that is why even your cost of representation in this country, cost of representation is 128 billion as you have worked out, which is equals to or more than the budget of Ministry of Roads or Ministry of Education.
Yearly?
Yeah.
That's 5 years though.
Yeah.
Okay, Onjikumu here is the woman representative of Nyandarua County. You said yes and no?
Yes, and I say yes because for sure we had 210 constituencies. We raised to 290, and my approach that if we went back to 210, I see we could save 80 positions. And the 80 positions, if we multiply with the Langat's calculation, the country will save $500 million. $500 million.
If we go back to 210.
If we go to 210, meaning we shall not use our society as a cultureless society where we don't recognize the women, because simply saying that the 47 women rep should be scrubbed is going back to the old age when we had women discrimination
I'll come back to the arguments for and again. As you said yes and no, that's how you reason yes. Tell me why you say no.
The reason why I said yes, we are over, because we could still manage the 210, and the reason why I say no is because the direction that is being taken by my colleagues is not genuine. I can clearly say it is not genuine, and I'll tell you many reasons why.
Okay, you'll give us the reasons. We have two positions there. Yes and no. And then we have no from Zulekha Hassan, who's a nominated MP in the National Assembly. Why no?
I say no because, the Constitution, we've been trying for years to come up, for decades actually, to come up with a new Constitution for the party, for the country. And we had like thousands and thousands of discussions around the country. We had many representatives from the country coming in to come up with this new constitution. So, and there's a reason why, and it's because we wanted to bring services down to Mwananchi. During the previous governments, President Kenyatta, Moi, people didn't feel that services were going to Mwananchi. So with the devolution and therefore the increased numbers, it's to make you know, service delivery to Mwananchi work. So I think it's too early also to try and say that it's too many. Let's give it a chance. Let's give it a fair chance. It's just been a year, really. So that we're really implementing, although it's 2010, but now with this election is when we're really implementing this. So we've got to give it a try, I think, a chance before we... Yeah.
You say it's not genuine, what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, clearly it is not genuine, because when we look holistically, the issue here is wage bill, and we can see many avenues how we can bring the wage bill to size. Hussein, when someone is sick and you go to hospital, you are described of malaria, and then malaria is treated out of injection or out of tablet. But here we want to go straight to the injection, even without giving fair chance to specifically to speak women, because when my colleagues speak of nominated, we still fight these are women. When we speak of nominated, we still fight these are the minority, the persons with disability. And I say it is not genuine, because if it was genuine, the women wouldn't be the easy target. We would say, we would bring the issue on board. We see corruption, we do it away. We say the issue of ghost workers, we do it away. We say 210, we go back to there. We see the political parties fad, they are also fadded, while we clearly saw recently people saying political parties are individual private owners. Why are taxpayers' money funding political party while the political party belongs to somebody? So all these avenues are enough to bring money on the table, and we see that the wage bill is still at this size, so then we can go to the next level. But surely waking up one day and saying the wage bill is like this because of women, really, this is a political discrimination, and we have been politically marginalized since the time in memorial in Kenya, and this was the only chance that women in Kenya have been given. And the Kenyans will say, how have these women led? We've not been really given a fair chance to show our capacity, our integrity, our leadership.
We'll come back to that. You have to respond to that.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say I am very, very sincere. So I disagree with my colleagues saying I'm not genuine. I'm very much genuine. Unfortunately, and with due respect to my colleagues, I'm not targeting anybody's job. Actually, it's only unfortunate that maybe by me doing this amendment, it affects many women than men. That's why many people have really I've already seen this thing to mean I'm targeting women. What I'm simply saying is that there is a call by the president and the deputy president that we need to manage wage bill. And I can tell you for sure, in this country, we collect 800 billion every year. We pay salaries 400 billion. We public service, public debt servicing, 200 and something billion. We send to counties another 200 something billion. So if you look at the equation of our revenue, you realize one, either we need to collect more revenue, which means we need to tax more. We need to tax Kenyans more, or we need to reduce the expenditure. And where I am coming from is that I'm saying we can save here, we can save on wage bill in terms of representation. I agree we are overrepresented, and I want to say it doesn't mean if we have, let's say, 1,000 men, men are more represented, or if we have 1,000 women are more represented. I don't think so. I think what I'm simply saying is let us look at duplication of roles. For example, and with due respect to Senate, for example, Senate, we have 20 nominated senators. If you read the Constitution as it is today, they are not allowed to vote when there's a decision to be made. Yeah. They are not allowed to vote. The only person allowed by Constitution who carries the vote is the elected senator. So we have 20 people Who sit and talk, but when it comes to decision making, they don't vote. That is a sad situation.
Yeah, it's sad we couldn't get any of them because they're not in the country, most of them. You know what's happening in the United States. Yeah. But you're talking about senators, nominated senators.
I was coming to the National Assembly, and then now we come to the National Assembly. You will find 290 men. It's a structure, not men, 290 elected from specific constituencies. We have 47 now, specifically women.
Elected,
and then we have another 12 who are nominated on the basis of marginalized groups and youth, people with disability, and then the speaker. That takes us to around 349. Now, come to where the big problem is, the county assemblies. We have 1,450 elected, and then we have 770 nominated. You can imagine they are almost more than 50% of the elected MCAs. In fact, the value of a vote, is actually seriously diluted at the county assembly. So, really, I think these are, and I agree with Mheshimiwa here, that what I'm proposing is not an end to itself. There are other things.
So that's why, and that is why the question is, why then those positions specifically?
What I'm simply saying is that when Kenyans decided that, for example, that they needed devolution, they needed more service at the grassroots level. I would rather we have the women at the grassroots level having water, medical care, school fees, and everything else. Then we have 1,000 people, and the same woman down there is still up to now suffering.
I just want to react to what Mheshimiwa Langat has been saying. You know, in terms of CORD, in terms of the wage bill debate that has come up, you know, we've been saying that it's populist, and we believe that it's populist. And you know, also in the media, there's been, since this started, the president reduced his salary by 20%. There's been a lot of discussion in media and so on. And some economists have even said a couple of weeks before the president announced his salary pay cut, that the World Bank was saying that, you know, Kenya's economy is going on well. And you know how the World Bank gets finicky and so on. So there's also questions about these figures. So it's something that we really need to look into.
But we have a problem. You acknowledge we have a problem with the wage bill.
Yes. Even if even if we do have a wage bill problem, some of the reasons is not these constitutional offices, because people spoke about these positions and they costed them and all of that. That did happen. But you see now that with President Kibaki, he put the county commissioners in, and then there's the whole lineup of these officials in counties that are that are replicating the county system, which is not in the constitution. So that's the beginning of your problem right there. You have county commissioners all the way, I think, to ward representatives. There's a lot of staff in the county. So that's one of your big problems there if you're talking about the wage bill. There are positions that are not in the constitution and that are being paid for. So let's start there. And people were shouting, remember during when county commissioners came in place, that they should be removed and so on. So let's not touch constitutional, let's do this. And also let's give this devolution a chance before we start. And that's why people are saying that the Jubilee government maybe wants to kill devolution, and this is how it's coming about.
You're
Hussein,
part of that.
Hussein, first I would like to correct my colleague and say the nomination of MCAs is political parties' problem, period. Because the political parties over-nominated people for their own interest. And I can give you samples of specific counties, including here in Nairobi, where they have 85 wards and nominated over 40. That's already more than a third. So this was abuse of office, corruption in political parties. So this is a political party mess, is not constitutional. To start with, if we could do mathematics correct, statistics show we couldn't have 770 nominated MCA. That's why I'm saying we acknowledge wage bill is a problem. We put this wage bill here and see where is the problem. Personally, I feel the wage bill is at the county level. Duplication of roles is all over. The national government have sent county directors of every ministry. We have a county director of fisheries, agriculture, education. Again, the governor has his executive to do the same role. I'm telling you, this is a political problem, and it can only be tackled politically. And it is the work of executive, and I belong to Jubilee government, for executive to acknowledge the problem politically. Okay. And tackle it. If it means taking back the cabinet secretaries back to parliament, so be it.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a short while. We need to take a break now, but we are going now into the debate proper with specifics. You're still to tell us why exactly these positions, and you will tell us what roles you've been doing as county women representatives for the last 1 year. We'll come back to that in a short while. Of course, after the break also, we'll have a lawyer, George Kithi, to tell us more about this issue. We'll be back after this short break on The Big Question.